Hello, once again, I'm Dr. Michael Baker with the Grief Education Center. We've been talking about grief theories. One was the attachment theory. We looked at where people are attached, and when we lose those we love, we're detached, and we suffer great loss. With great love comes great loss when a person passes. And we talked about the task of mourning, and gives us some hope that we can actually achieve a few things ourselves, accept the reality of the loss, process the pain of the loss, adjust to the world without the deceased, and find a way to remember the deceased. And so we talked about that. And then we talked about, last time was continuing bonds, how we continue to have a relationship with the ones that have passed. The legacy they live, they're still very much part of our lives and part of our memories. And in some cases, some people feel like their loved one is still present with them. And so we have to be sensitive to that as well. The one I want to talk to you about today is called dual process model, developed by Margaret Strobe and Henk Schutt. And in their study, they theorized that the grief work hypothesis fell short of being effective in coping with bereavement. Instead, they found that there are two emotional processes that represent human grief: loss-oriented and restoration-oriented processes. So loss, I think about it like Mr. Miyagi, hands-on, or, wash on, wash off. Okay, and so it's a dual process. The dual process means two things are going on in you at one time. And so there's a process of experiencing the pain of grief, and there's also the process of trying to heal. Okay, and so when we think about that early on, and when grief is fresh, acute grief, it seems like your whole day, your whole life is just one painful experience. There's very little healing going on. But as time passes, the pain will not be as big or great, and your healing will start to surface. And there's this dual process going on at the same time. And as pain alleviates, your healing will increase. I believe I've heard an author explain it as in there's two trains outside your door every day when you lose someone. One is the grieving train, and one is the healing train. When your loved one's death has only been a short amount of time, you will get up and you'll go outside your door, and there will be the pain and grief train, and you'll take it. You'll go as far as you can and eventually come back home. And then eventually one day you may go outside your door, and instead of taking the grieving and pain train, you may decide to take the healing train and go a short distance and come back and get on the train of pain and grieving. But eventually, when you go outside your door, you'll choose to take the healing train, and you'll go a little bit further and come back, and then the next day you'll go a little bit further and come back, and so eventually there will be less activity on the grieving and pain train, and you'll be spending more time on the healing train. So it'll be like a dual process, two things going on at one time. There's grieving and there's healing. One will increase one for a while, and then the others be subdued. The other will eventually grow stronger, the healing train. And so that's a way of understanding our grief. It's a dual process, grieving and healing taking place at the same time, but at different levels at different times in your grief experience. So it's dual process model. Thank you very much.